We're only a few months into 2024, but I've already received some incredible PR packages this year from some of my favorite brands, including IT Cosmetics, Amika, Laneige, and so many more. I often share the products that I receive with you all over on Instagram and other platforms, and I know that there are a lot of questions about exactly how this whole beauty PR package thing works. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can get on the PR list of your favorite brand. I remember the first time I ever received a beauty PR package. I mean, I was so excited, and how could I not be? My favorite brand sending me the products that I would normally be purchasing myself from Sephora and Ulta. I mean, say less. But it's not necessarily just as simple as that. So let's talk a little bit first about why brands send PR packages to influencers and content creators. Long story short, brands are looking for exposure and ways to promote their products, and influencers have engaged audiences who are receptive to promotions. Plus, if brands are intentional about the influencers and creators they decide to send PR packages to, there's a good chance that that influencer or creator will actually share the product with their audience. Now, whether or not you're required to post tends to be a bit of a gray area when it comes to PR packages. So let's talk about the difference between receiving PR from a brand and doing a gifted campaign with a brand. When you are receiving PR from a brand, that brand is choosing to send you their product. And in most cases, what you do with that product is going to be entirely up to you. It's actually pretty similar to how things worked when I was an editor at Nylon. So brands would send things to our beauty department with the hope that they would want to test them out, review them, and potentially feature them in the magazine in some way. Back then, the beauty department at Nylon received so many products that the beauty department physically could not test every single one of them. So the assistant editors and other staff members got to dig through the beauty bins and take any extra products that the department couldn't use. And in a sort of similar sense, even micro content creators can get sent a ton of PR products, and they're not going to necessarily be able to test every last one or create a piece of content about every last one. So when a brand is sending you PR, they are sending a product to you for editorial consideration. They just want to get the product in front of you, and that way they have the best chance of being featured in your content in some way, shape, or form. However, look out for the wording in these emails, because if a brand is offering to send you product as a gift or PR, that's one thing. But if a brand is offering to send you product in exchange for a post, that is what I consider to be a gifted campaign. To me, this is a much more explicit exchange of services and should be treated differently than just receiving PR. Now, whether or not you choose to accept a gifted campaign is up to you, but a gifted campaign looks pretty similar to a paid campaign these days, just with the small, tiny, minuscule difference that you don't actually get paid, or rather, you get paid just in the product. So be sure to read through all of the details of a gifted offer very carefully, because that could include things like having a specific brand or creative brief that the brand wants you to follow, including certain lines or hashtags in your caption, or even possibly having to complete revisions for the brand to get the content the way that they want it. It sounds like the scope of a full paid partnership, and for that reason, I always encourage influencers to be extremely selective if they choose to take on gifted campaigns. Because when you think about all of the work that goes into producing any piece of content these days, it's really hard to have the brand kind of looking over your shoulder and making all these edits and changes and giving you guidelines when you're not even being compensated. That's why brands sending content creators PR is so great, because the creator can take the product and do anything they want with it. And, 9 times out of 10, they're going to create a great piece of content that the brand would probably love one way or the other, even just as an organic feature on that creator's feed. At this point in my career, the only time I would consider accepting a gifted partnership would be for something pretty substantial. Like maybe if in the future I move apartments and we need a new couch or a new mattress, the cost and the value of that gift, quote unquote, from a brand is a lot higher and justifies the work that I would do to create content around that gift, more so than if a drugstore makeup brand wanted to do a gifted campaign with me for a $10 eyeliner. At that point, I should just go buy the eyeliner myself because it's going to be so much work and the value of the gift is not equivalent to the amount of work that I would be doing. So think long and hard about whether or not you want to accept gifted campaigns. And if there are any brands out there watching this, I would highly encourage you to look more into PR lists than gifted campaigns because you'll still get your product in the hands of a content creator. And if you like their content and trust their creative judgment, you might still get a great piece of content out of it. I have lots more thoughts about working for free as a content creator, and I actually have a whole other video where I dive deeper into that, so I will move on to the next topic, but do let me know in the comments what your current thoughts and feelings are on gifted partnerships. I would love to just get a pulse check from this community and hear what you all think about gifted campaigns. So now that you understand the difference between a gifted campaign and being on a PR list, how do you actually get onto a brand's PR list? Well, it's pretty simple. Either they can reach out to you and extend that invitation, or you can reach out to the brand. Let's first talk about how a brand might reach out to you to ask you if they can send you products. So in order for a brand to reach out to you, you're going to need two things. First, you're going to need great content that is going to attract that brand to your page and profile in the first place. And you're going to need a way for that brand to contact you. So why am I saying that you need great content? Well, usually brands, if they are looking for content creators on social media platforms, will be looking for creators who are creating the type of content that they want to be created featuring their products. So for example, if I were to sit down and film a get ready with me video using makeup products, a makeup brand that maybe I didn't even mention in the video might see that get ready with me video, see that I am creating content using different makeup products and say, hey, maybe she would want to use our eyeliner in her next video. Like, why don't we reach out and see if she's open to receiving PR from us? So posting content on your page is essentially going to create this digital portfolio that a brand will be able to review and determine if you're a good fit for them to send their products to for editorial consideration. So of course, creating great content is one part of it, but there are a couple of extra things that you can do to help make it easier for brands to discover you. If the brand that you're interested in receiving PR from is actually in the video that you filmed, make sure to tag them both in the post and also tag them in the caption so that there are two different ways, two different chances that they'll see that piece of content you've created. Another way to help brands easily find your content is to add keywords and hashtags to the caption of your posts. So you can do this on pretty much any platform, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, wherever you're creating content. So for example, some keywords or hashtags that I might put on a get ready with me video where I'm using makeup products could include beauty creator or testing new makeup, product review, get ready with me. So actually typing out some of those keywords so that if a brand is searching on Instagram or TikTok, whatever platform, for those types of keywords, that my content has a chance of showing up there. You also want to make sure that it's easy for the brand to contact you and get in touch. So on Instagram, keep an eye out for DMs from brands. They may be in your requests folder. And if you see that the brand has a blue check mark, that probably means it's their official account. So definitely focus mainly on responding to messages only from the brand's official account. I have been able to get placed on some PR lists this way. I actually recently, I think last year, got added to the Milk Makeup PR list because they saw my content that I was creating featuring their products, and they DM'd me to ask if they could send me more products, which obviously I said yes to. But I think it's also a really smart idea to make sure that your email address is very clearly listed in all of your social media bios. The reason for this is some brands may prefer to contact creators primarily via email. And even though on Instagram there is an email button on your profile, that button does not exist on desktop. So if you just have your email typed out on desktop, it is much easier for a brand to just copy and paste your email address into the note that they're trying to send you. And it really saves the brand a step and some time versus having to open your account on their phone, click the email button, type your email address in, unless they're sending the email on their phone, which they're probably not if they were on desktop in the first place, and potentially misspelling your email or just not wanting to go through that extra step. In addition to a brand reaching out to you to invite you onto their PR list, you can also reach out to brands to express your interest in being added to their PR mailers. And there are a few different ways to go about that. First, just like we talked about in the last example, you can reach out to a brand via Instagram DM. So you can try DMing the brand, and I'll put a screenshot on the screen just to show you an example of something I have sent to a beauty brand before, basically just letting them know I'd be interested in testing out their products and asking, how to get involved or to be considered to be on their PR list. Another nice thing about Instagram is you can just share any posts that you've already created featuring their content via DM as well. You can just hit the little airplane on the post so that they can in real time see an example of you using their products if you have used them before, and that's why you're reaching out to them. Another option here is you can also email the brand directly. Lots of brands will have a designated contact email on their website. Check down below at the bottom of the brand's website for a press page or an about page or a contact page, and see if there's an email either for press and PR inquiries, or even better if there's one for influencer and creator inquiries. Once you have the email address, you can send a short email introducing yourself and expressing your interest in continuing to share the brand with your audience and testing out any new products or launches. Or you could also try reaching out to an agency. If you find that you have a lot of brands that you're interested in receiving products from, going through an agency may save you a bit of time. PR agencies are going to be representing multiple different brands, not just one. Some of the big PR agencies in New York City, for example, that I have worked with over the years and that have sent me products from their clients include agencies like Allison Broad, Purple PR, Infinity Creative Agency, and there's so many more out there too. So out of those three options, sending a DM to the brand, emailing the brand directly, or reaching out to an agency, I would say try what you feel most comfortable with. If the thought of reaching out to an agency feels a little intimidating to you, but sliding into a brand's DMs is something you're more comfortable with, then start there, and you could always test and experiment with each of these three methods as you go. Now, another question that I hear a lot from creators is how many followers should I have before I actually reach out to a brand to ask to be put on their PR list? Now, this is a great question, and I personally feel like there are two milestones that you want to aim to hit before you do reach out to a brand to ask to be put on their PR list. So my recommendation is to wait until you either have 1,000 followers on whatever platform you are most focused on, or about 3 to 6 months of consistent content that you've created on that platform so that the brand can see you have a backlog of content and that you are currently posting consistently. I think both that follower milestone and the consistency factor both kind of show proof of concept and that you're creating and that people are interested in what you're posting. And let's talk through a few more quick tips logistically when it comes to receiving PR from brands. I think the most important thing I can tell you is to be mindful of the brands that you choose to work with and the mailers that you want to opt into. Just because I am on an email list or a PR list from a brand doesn't mean that I receive every single mailer that they offer to send me. In fact, these days, I'm often turning down more mailers than the mailers that I accept. There's a few reasons for this. Number one, logistically, I cannot test everything myself, especially if I receive products for, super curly hair or oily skin. I don't have those two things, so I'm not going to be able to test out those products. And if I get offered a mailer with products in it, I will tell the brand that's the reason why I'm turning it down. I also don't tend to accept mailers where the brand is going to send me a full range of shades. I mean, especially for foundation and base products, that doesn't make any sense. I'm very appreciative of the brands who will ask you to pick one or two shades that you think will be best for you because it's much less wasteful that way. Just be mindful of how many brands you're reaching out to and how much PR you decide to receive, because ultimately it'll be better for you, the brand, and the environment when you're only saying yes to the ones that you're really excited about. You might even consider getting a PO box specifically for brands to send PR to so that you don't have to worry about giving out your home address to every single brand. Also, on the note of your address and location, if you are moving, make sure that you proactively reach out to your brand contacts and let them know what your new address is. You can also look into setting up accounts on UPS and FedEx so that you can track packages, change your address directly on there, or potentially set up rerouting or forwarding of your packages to your new address to make sure that nothing gets lost. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Those are two free and easy ways to let YouTube know that you like the content you just watched and that you want to see more from me. And if you're feeling inspired from this video and motivated to reach out to brands that you want to receive PR from, don't send any emails without watching the up next recommendation on the screen with my best brand outreach email tips. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.